Titans are coached by Brandon Heflin, the principal of Syracuse High School.
Welcome into the John M. Huntsman Center at the University of Utah for the 6A quarterfinals. Our matchup this evening, the Lone Peak Knights and the Syracuse Titans. Thank you for joining us, everyone. My name is Dane Stewart. Have a really fun matchup for you here tonight. The three-time defending state champion Lone Peak Knights wearing their road black uniforms in a quarterfinal. When was the last time you remember that happening? And the region champs out of Region 1, Syracuse. Titans coming in, having a great year this year. And Rachel McBride has been really good, but Maylee Anderson has kind of been the go-to for Coach Hamblin and this Syracuse group. That 1-2 punch has been fantastic. Mix in Olivia Sorensen, amongst others. Been a really strong unit for Syracuse. And meanwhile, for Lone Peak, they've had a change of the guard, so to speak. A lot of key contributors from all those state championship teams graduated, and a chance for youngsters to step up. Some familiar faces as well, as this one's stolen immediately by Nielsen, up and scores. And a great start for Syracuse defense into offense. Getting back to Lone Peak, we talked about some familiar faces returning, including Kennedy Woolston. Was a great contributor on last year's group. And then you mix in Zuri Nordstrom, Tati Harness, Falau, Holdcraft, Maddie Pope, and Charlie Warner. It's good talent, but talent that's still kind of learning experience and maturing in Coach Nancy Warner's system here for Lone Peak, as the Knights unsuccessful on that possession, and it'll be Syracuse now operating out of the half court. They want to go inside there with Sorensen, but that pass too far out in front. And it's a Syracuse turnover. This is Harness. They go high post, kicked in the corner. Woolston, her three. When Kennedy Woolston can hit jumpers, this Lone Peak team is different. Good early start there for Kennedy. Here's McBride trying to step around. Gave that over, and it's lost out by Nielsen. Up the corner, little drive here, giving back to Kennedy. She'll try another three. And that one just missed. Syracuse here on the run. Here's McBride. Putting by Holdcraft. That left-handed shot won't go. Rebounded by Harness. Lone Peak coming up the floor. Woolston, baseline drive, sends up top. Nordstrom, they'll look at three, no. And Sorensen with the rebound for the Titans. Boy, I almost had Sorensen left alone underneath. Here's McBride going inside and scoring. Rachel McBride with her first field goal in this opening quarter. Nordstrom walked with it. Traveling violation, will give it back here to Syracuse. Our officiating crew here in this quarterfinal, Dan Hooten, Kenny Bledsoe, and Stacy Polson. Oh, nice work into Sorensen. A great job beating that Lone Peak pressure. I just like to call out the officials, not to call them out, but it's a great reward for the officials to officiate games up here at the site, just as it is for players to play. So I want to recognize those officials who have done a great job all year long. Is this shot short? A loose ball picked up by Lone Peak. Here's Warner. And double dribble. A little gaff there from Warner. She knew it immediately. You saw those hands come up like, oh, Charlie. As Woolston will come back on the floor here for Lone Peak. McBride looking in for Sorensen. Broken up there by Woolston. Here's Kennedy. Works over. Warner will have a look at three. That was just short and out of play, and it will go back to the Titans. Lone Peak sticking on the pressure here. Another turnover. Harness bringing it up. Both these two teams employing zone here early. Harness works over to Woolston. Her second three of the ball game is good. All 6 points for Lone Peak coming from their leading scorer. Pull up there by Anderson. Talking about Maley, how pivotal she is for Syracuse, averages 14 points per game for the junior. Kennedy driving, kicking to Zuri. Nordstrom's three won't go. Rebounded by McBride, and Woolston here going to be called for the foul as arms got tied up there. The winner of this game will advance to take on the Davis Darts, who upset Westlake in our first quarterfinal. Stoker gives that back here to Anderson. Open look at a three. That one good. Kylie Nilsson, who opened up the game with a bucket, hitting the triple for Syracuse, and it's an 11-6 lead. Ball bounced around, picked up by Sorensen, looking for the outlet, and we've got a foul. Well, the foul going to be called here on Folau. Be her first foul, second team foul on Lone Peak. Here's Anderson. Oh, yeah, that is taken away. 2-on-1 for the Knights. Over to Harness. Defense into offense for Lone Peak. Ooh, Woolston nearly with another steal. Here's a 3-on-2. McBride from the corner. She'll try the triple. That one offline, rebounded by Holdcraft. Here's Pope. Won't go, knocked out Syracuse basketball. Charlie Warner checking back in here for Lone Peak. Syracuse across the timeline. Little pull up there from McBride. And off target. Here's Warner. Harness, she'll drive. Oh, nice vision. Finding Folau on the backside for the bucket. One possession ball game here in the first quarter. Sorensen sends up, nearly intercepted. McBride inside for the finish. Boy, you see two teams very aggressive. Good back and forth battle here. 1 minute to go in our opening frame. 3-2 still employed here by the Titans. Woolston on the drive, floats it up, just too strong, gets her own miss. Kennedy sends out. Harness the three, and we are tied up. Tatiana Harness with her first three. 13 apiece. McBride skips across. Thomas lost it out. Nordstrom checking back in here for the Knights. Here's Woolston. Clock down to 3. Charlie Warner over to Kennedy at the horn, just misses. But a good start in our second quarterfinal of the day. Lone Peak Syracuse tied at 13. You're watching the 6A quarterfinals live on KSLSports.com.
With a Tab Spend checking account, you earn big rewards. It's hard to not make a scene.
How's your card?
Oh, my card's right here.
That's a big card.
You should see how much it's earned me. Sorry, Grandma. Tab Spend isn't just another checking account. It's packed with benefits.
How do I get one?
Just scan this QR code or go to tabbank.com. It's all online and super easy to get started.
Welcome back. Want to remind you that playoff coverage at the Huntsman Center is brought to you by Tab Bank. Tab Bank is home of the Tab Spend Rewards checking account, which offers a 3.5% annual percentage yield on your account balance and a 1% cash back on all eligible purchases. It's a big deal. Of course, member FDIC. I want to thank Tab Bank for their sponsorship of our 5A and 6A playoff coverage live from the Huntsman Center. Start of our second quarter. Syracuse basketball. Anderson got a little room. She'll try the three. That just rimmed out for Maley. A rebound brought down by Nordstrom. The Lone Peak Knights bringing it up the floor. The Syracuse team, 20-3 overall, 9-1 in region. As Maddie Pope with her first bucket tonight, fourth Lone Peak scorer. There's the three on the way, off the window, won't go. Tapped up and brought down by Holdcraft. Good little surge here by Lone Peak after Syracuse had a strong start in that opening quarter. Harness. Doxy left open. That three's long. Tracked down by Holdcraft. Woolston from the corner. No. A rebound to Visser. Nielsen. Extra pass, Sorensen. She'll work back up. Nielsen will try this three. Was just a touch short. Tapped over. That shot won't go for Thomas. And Syracuse gone cold these last couple minutes. Nordstrom trying to get baseline. Oh, what a find. To Harness. 7 points for Tati Harness and a timeout taken by Syracuse as Lone Peak holds a 4-point lead here early in the second. out of the Syracuse timeout. Be interesting to see what Coach Hamblin tries to call for his offense here. They've had a couple looks, but been tough to get things at the rim. And here's a three-point shot. That won't go, and it's another rebound here brought in by Lone Peak, because they've done a great job on the glass. Holdcraft driving, little six-footer, no. McBride with the rebound and a foul call here. As Holdcraft got arms kind of wrapped around the rebounder for Syracuse. Pull up. Well, that's a tough one. Just inside the line that Anderson able to score from. Woolston works over to Warner. Woolston now on the drive. Good find over to Nordstrom. Boy, Lone Peak looks comfortable against this zone here in this first half. 19-15 Knights. Here's McBride. Oh, just on different pages. Fed ahead for Warner. She can't track it down, and Syracuse fortunate there. That one doesn't come back to Burnham. It was full out. Checking back in here for Lone Peak. Pushing the midway point here in this second quarter. Thomas working in the corner. Anderson. Oh, nice little drive there. Reverse. Won't go for Thomas. Boy, was a great look. A tough finish that just came off the backside of that rim. Holdcraft back over to Nordstrom. It's been a 13. No, that can't be right. My bad. How about that three by Anderson? Oh, and the answer coming from Nordstrom. McBride get his back. And that one kind of bounced around and traveling violation. Nope. They're going to call the foul here. Nielsen called for her first. First team foul on Syracuse. Here's Pope. Tried to send back out, disrupted. Nielsen with the steal. Stoker. We'll give to Anderson, trying to get around the D. That one found its way through to Sorensen. Got her own miss, and that one skips across the rim and out. Anderson tried to keep it here, and last touched by Lone Peak. Arnis checking back in here for the Knights. Off the inbound, McBride, no. Offensive board from Nielsen, and a foul here. Going to be called on Lone Peak. On Nordstrom, I believe. Nope, on Pope. First personal on Maddie tonight. Syracuse here to inbound. McBride. They get it into Sorensen. Lone Peak comes out with it. Woolston, transition three, no. Here's Nielsen. Anderson, as we approach 2 to play here, nearly lost it, trying to maintain it. And a dual possession there. The arrow will give it back to the Knights. Boy, Lone Peak, their defense, extremely difficult for Syracuse to navigate here in this first half. Warner sends over this three. Might have been deflected. But Zuri coming up with it for Lone Peak. Warner recognized that lane open on the drive. No, Sorensen the board. Anderson gives the clock a look. 90 seconds to go here. Looking in for Sorensen. And it is turned over. A little 2-3 look here now for Syracuse. Pope feeding Zuri at the line. No. And that one tapped over to Nielsen. Inside the final minute of this first half. Oh, quick shot from Anderson off the back of the iron. Harness. Got the kick in the corner. Holdcraft going up instead. No. And the offensive board brought in by Woolston. 3 for Zuri, won't go. Shot clock turned off. Feeding in to McBride, going up and scoring. First points tonight. No, McBride had 4 in the first. My apologies. Nice bucket there for Rachel. Harness looking inside for Holdcraft, won't go. Got her own miss. Trying to send out to Pope. Here's Harness for 3, just off the bank. And that will do it. 24-20, Lone Peak leading Syracuse in the 6A quarterfinal from the John M. Huntsman Center on the campus of the University of Utah.
With a Tab Spend checking account, you earn big rewards. It's hard to not make a scene.
Cash or card?
Oh, my card's right here.
That's a big card.
You should see how much it's earned me. Sorry, Grandma. Tab Spend isn't just another checking account. It's packed with benefits.
How do I get one?
Just scan this QR code or go to tabbank.com. It's all online and super easy to get started.
Back start of the second half. Dean Stewart here with you. 24-20, Lone Peak leading Syracuse. Early start by the Titans as they go right inside to Sorensen, and she just missed it at the rim. And that's been the thing for Syracuse since they had that lead in the first quarter. They've missed a couple right inside the paint. Some rare misses for them, and just haven't quite allowed them to get in their normal flow as Woolston starting the second half, much like she started the first with a 3. Her first points since she hit those 2 threes in that first quarter. 9 now for Kennedy. And it's another stop for Lone Peak. Knights on the run, working ahead. Here's Pope. Holdcraft down the lane, denied by Sorensen. Boy, great look here at the block of Sorensen. You see staying home, playing that center of that zone. Very well read. Woolston. That 3 won't go, batted around. McBride with the clear here for Syracuse. Intercepted by Kennedy. Boy, Kennedy has left her mark here today. Talk about the 9 points. A steal there, a couple rebounds. She's open here. She'll work inside, right back. Woolston kicks to the corner. Pope, she'll try for three. That was short. And Holdcraft lost it out. Both teams have all their timeouts left here. Trying to get that ahead for Stoker. Found its way through to McBride. And a foul called inside. I like this for Syracuse. I know that shot hasn't been falling, but continue to play your game, work near the rim. As you see that hand just come through there by Holdcraft. And Syracuse here to the free throw line, and that one off target. This Titans group, when you look at them on the year, and from the floor, as the team shoot about 40%, it feels like they've been below that here this evening. Just a lot of misses from close shots they normally make. Another three. This one from Zuri Nordstrom. And Lone Peak on the precipice of potentially opening this one up early in this second half. Trying for McBride. That's knocked out there by Warner. Nielsen. Well, that shot clock was winding down, and Anderson's shot was off the back of the rim. Here's Warner, kicks over. Nordstrom again. Oh, and how about Harness coming up with the basketball. Holdcraft. A basketball flying around now for Lone Peak. Woolston, she'll try the corner three, no. And Stoker with the board. Nielsen. And that's called on the floor. Really like this move by Nielsen. You see her kind of working down the lane, and she'll take a step right here into the middle. See how that just kind of frees things up, and foul called again before that shot there as Anderson will trigger in. McBride scoops up, no. Warner with the board. Charlie Warner hitting the three for Lone Peak, their third triple of this third quarter, and it's a 12-point Lone Peak lead. Sorensen, that double team coming down, gives over to Anderson. And a quick timeout taken here by Syracuse. 10-point lead for the Knights. Lone Peak basketball leading here by 10. Largest lead for the Knights was the 12 they just had, trailed here early in that first quarter. But boy, once Lone Peak found their rhythm, it has been a hard team to stop. Warner here being hounded by Thomas, and an offensive foul called here on Charlie. Lone Peak now with a little three-quarter court pressure. McBride sending up. Visser down the lane, able to get it to go. Carson Visser with her first points tonight. Maddie Pope, quick burst, fouled. And Maddie Pope here will work her way to the free throw line. See that quick step. I don't know how that McBride can do that swipe. What got called is first team foul on Syracuse. Pope good on her first attempt. Has one more. Two for two. Quick movement over to McBride. Baseline, no. Just skipped across the rim. Full out. Little backdoor cut. Get it to Woolston. Stuck amongst the triple team. It doesn't matter. Two more for Kennedy. And she's in double figures now for Lone Peak. Intercepted by Woolston. Extra pass, Pope from the corner. Tapped up and kept here for Lone Peak. Here's Nordstrom. Oh, right back to Zuri. Got caught a little bit underneath, able to keep this out. Pope. She'll hit the three. Boy, everyone chipping in from long range here in this third quarter. I think 4 different players have hit threes in the third for Lone Peak as that shot is blocked and Woolston has it. And a timeout taken by Lone Peak. Full timeout, 40-25, Knights feeling good here in the 6A quarterfinals.
With a tab spend checking account, you earn big rewards. It's hard to not make a scene.
Cash or card?
Oh, my card's right here.
That's a big card.
You should see how much it's earned me. Sorry, Grandma. Tab Spend isn't just another checking account. It's packed with benefits.
How do I get one?
Just scan this QR code or go to tabbank.com. It's all online and super easy to get started.
Welcome back, Lone Peak. Doing what they've done for so many years here in the 6A state playoffs now. Pope, left-handed shot denied inside by Sorensen. Great block there. We'll stay here with the Knights. Shot clock ticking down. Zuri, didn't miss by much. Oh, and a foul called there on Folau. As Warner and Wilson both checking back in here for Lone Peak. Working inside, and Kennedy here going to be called for the foul before the shot. That'll be the 5th team foul on Lone Peak. So Syracuse to the line here to shoot a pair. And they'll have free throws for the remainder of this Just over a minute left here in this third quarter. Of course, we got 2 more quarterfinals coming up for you. This is game 6 on the day, and 7 and 8. They'll be doozies as well. Mountain Ridge and Copper Hills. Region rivalry renewed. That game will be at 7:30. As we throw 1 for 2. We'll stay here with Syracuse. And then our nightcap, the 9-10. Bingham and Fremont. 5-4 matchup. Couple good ones. One to go here in the third quarter. Stoker trying to step around and walked with it. Lone Peak might have gotten a hand on the basketball that disrupted ever so slightly. Inside. Harness. The only Lone Peak player to score in every quarter thus far. Corner 3, that won't go. Rebounded by Holdcraft. Kicked out Warner. Boy, had an open look, thought better of it with the shot clock turned off. Our game clock down to 15. Zuri works to Woolston. She'll float it up baseline, gets the bucket. And with that, the third quarter comes to a close. Lone Peak with their largest lead of the night, 44-26, as we head to the fourth.
With a Tab Spend checking account, you earn big rewards. It's hard to not make a scene.
How's your card?
Oh, my card's right here.
That's a big card.
You should see how much it's earned me. Sorry, Grandma. Tab Spend isn't just another checking account. It's packed with benefits.
How do I get one?
Just scan this QR code or go to tabbank.com. It's all online and super easy to get started.
We had the third place team out of Region 1 knock off the co-region champs from Region 3 when Davis defeated Westlake. You wondered if the Region 1 champ would hold serve here tonight. It has not been that way. Lone Peak with a 18-point lead as we head to this fourth quarter. Syracuse has switched between a couple zones tonight, but Lone Peak's been able to handle both of them pretty effectively. Nordstrom. And an offensive foul called on Zuri. Tried to step around, but being whistled here. First personal on Zuri. That one taken away. Good help there by Holdcraft. Read that passing lane, able to step in front. Woolston. Talk about 3 losses for Syracuse this year. They lost to Grantsville and Skyview in their non-region. And then their only other loss came in region play in the second matchup with Fremont, a team we'll see later this evening. Probably stunned, given where this game is at here. That is last touched by Woolston. Heck of a play there by Stoker to save that off of Kennedy. See the score not in their favor, but man, the effort still is certainly there for Syracuse. As they throw in McBride with a touchback. Oh, what a pretty play off the inbound. Back over to Maylee Anderson. She's now in double figures. We got a timeout taken. Let's have a look at that inbound for Syracuse. A little design here. You see McBride just a little touch over to the inbounder. That's how it's done. Timeout, Lone Peak. 6.5 left. That kicked out. We talked about Lone Peak, and the record may surprise some. 17-7 on the year, 8-2. Co-region champs out of Region 3 as Woolston works down to Pope here. Oh, nice find. Over to Holdcraft. This has been a team for Lone Peak getting stronger as the year's gone on. We talk about all the talent they had to replace. Several of their losses coming out of state. Lost both games to Westlake in region play. And we'll have a chance to atone for those. They lost to Copper Hills, number 1 seed in the 6A state tournament. But boy, the way they've played today, I feel like they could take on the preseason 6A pick. They'd have one more game before that. They'll have to take on Davis. That Davis team played extremely well today. Of course, a lot of that will depend on the health of Tamaya Edewade. Got hurt late in that game for Davis, and hope she'll be good to go Wednesday morning. A leading scorer, one of the real great players in 6A this year. Not just for the darts, but across the state. And Anderson, momentum carried her into the violation. It's Lone Peak basketball. Warner and Folau back on here.
Carson Visser.
Woolston helping clear the floor there. Taking care of her civic duty as well. Here's Warner. Kennedy on the drive in the paint, high off the window. No offensive board. Holdcraft. Back-to-back buckets for Holdcraft. And this one taken away. Folau. On the fast break, won't go. There's Holdcraft. She's got all 6 Lone Peak points in this fourth quarter.
Nice foul. Number 10.
This foul called on Harness.
Second.
2 team fouls on Lone Peak here. Was knocked out by Folau. For Folau defensively, a couple nice plays. Anderson here for 3. No. McBride able to tap it to herself. Looking inside for Nielsen, just a step in front of her. Nordstrom. Oh, nice little soft touch off the back of the rim. Missouri with 12, Kennedy with 13. That three won't go. Woolston the board. Warner. Oh, her three just rimmed out. McBride, 17-footer straight away. No. Lone Peak has been dominant on the glass today. Right down the lane, denied at the rim by Sorensen. Inside, no, they'll go right back here to Visser, and Visser with the bucket. Here's a three. That won't go for Harness. McBride, she'll try from long range. And Lone Peak signaling for the timeout. They'll get it here. Timeout, Lone Peak. The Knights just over a minute and a half from advancing in the 6A state playoffs.
With a Tab Spend checking account, you earn big rewards. It's hard to not make a scene.
Cash or card?
Oh, my card's right here.
That's a big card.
You should see how much it's earned me. Sorry, Grandma. Tab Spend isn't just another checking account. It's packed with benefits.
How do I get one?
Just scan this QR code or go to tabbank.com. It's all online and super easy to get started.
Lone Peak basketball, 52-30. This point total well off the mark of what Syracuse's average coming into this one. In fact, the lowest number of points Syracuse had scored in a game prior to tonight was 39. It was in a 39-38 win over Davis. It was Folau driving and scoring, and it speaks to just how good this Lone Peak defense has been. It's made life extremely difficult on the Titans, and even though the Titans have been able to get some good looks, including at the rim, just haven't been able to finish them. Hard to win when you can't get that ball to go down consistently. Is another missed shot there, and the rebound collected by Lone Peak. 1 minute left. Warner on the drive and the bucket. Been a great year for Syracuse. We talk about the region champs. Very talented roster with fantastic years, including from Anderson. She's just a junior, as is McBride. They'll both return. Sorensen, a junior as well. Nielsen and Thomas, we've called both their names tonight, seniors, as is Stoker. Still a group that Coach Hamblin will bring a lot of experience back for next season. Boy, but one that the Region 1 champs hoped would play out differently here this evening. Final seconds ticking away. There's fractions of a second of difference between the game clock and the shot clock as Lone Peak here going to hold, and that'll do it. Lone Peak, 56-30. The defending state champs advance in the 6A state playoffs.